Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad to have you here today, and I'm bringing you an interesting video where I hope to share with you lessons that I'm learning in 3 areas that will set us free. I am already experiencing a sense of freedom through growing through these areas of my life, and I think it's really important to share with those of you out there who might be like me. Maybe you just turned 40, maybe you're meandering through them like myself, and you're going, there's got to be more to life and things that I can do that are going to positively impact people. It is my sincerest hope and my intention today to bring you this information so that you can take those steps toward finding freedom, whatever that looks like for you. And let's go ahead and get started. First, I'd like to talk about the principle of failure. One of the things that I've come to know all too well in life, as many of us do, is that failure is necessary to improving our trajectory and moving us forward in life. Most recently, I've had a couple failures in early 2025 that have caused me to level set and take a look back at what was going on. And here are some of the things that I discovered. First of all, the failure was absolutely 100% necessary in order to shift my mindset to a place where I could be strong and confident and move into action from a place of self-worth. If I had not had that failure, I would still be stuck in an old mindset of this is what I have to do and this is the way things are, and struggling to accept things that I was dreading. So my failure is helping to shift that mindset and move me toward a place of understanding myself better so that I can make decisions that are more in alignment with what's meant for me. Also regarding failure, I wanted to share that it's not as scary as it seems. I think that when I am experiencing failure, I can feel it most strongly because I'm taking a hit to my ego. And I had felt previously like, I've got this, I can do this, I'm strong enough, I'm smart enough, and all of these characteristics that I have, they're surely going to help me overcome and succeed at this endeavor. But what I have found is that the pain that I was experiencing when I was going through the failure was just my ego crying out because it wasn't getting its way and it was feeling unsafe. If any of you have done ego work, then you kind of know what that means. But what I've come to realize that is the ouch that I feel when I'm going through something that I'm not completing well is actually a really good thing. Because again, it's moving me toward a space where I understand more about myself and what I can do and what I can't do, but also what I should and shouldn't be doing in this lifetime and what I want and don't want to do in this lifetime. So failure can be painful while you're in it, but I'm here to share with you that on the backside, with a little bit of reflection, using some spiritual tools, failure is actually one of the best things that can happen to you. And I've not always been somebody that was chomping at the bit to experience failure. I had a lot of procrastination and freezing in my life due to fear of failure. And I can tell I'm growing up because I'm moving into that place of like, okay, I'm going to try this thing and I might fail, but guess what? I'm going to learn from it. And when I'm failing, might it be cringeworthy and painful? Sure. But a week from now, am I going to give a damn? Nope. Absolutely not. I'm going to be like, okay, let's move on to the next thing. And this channel is a perfect example of that. I'm learning as I grow. It's unbelievable when you're in the week of doing things. For instance, my first or second week that we've gone through so far, I was iffy and having some feelings of doubt crop up. And that was that discomfort, right? Like, is this failing? Is this going to fail? Maybe my ego chiming in and saying, you're not good enough, or my inner critic, being like, nobody's going to like this. But the truth is, some people are. And my goal is to help people experience what I'm experiencing. And now that I'm in the 3rd week, I'm looking back at weeks 1 and 2 and going, dude, that was awesome. Like, you did it and things look good. They look pulled together. Sure, there are things that you can improve upon, but yeah, that you grew through that. So definitely don't let the fear of failure scare you. do some reflection, do some meditation, think about, what is my ego telling me? How is my ego trying to protect me or keep me small, whereas I can expand into this beautiful thing that I'm meant to be? And I might have to feel the ouch of failure, but on the back end, I'm going to be like, booyah, I did it. And here's what I learned. And here's what I can do differently. It really, really motivates me. I'm like, yes, what can I fail at next? And that was not me as recently as 7 or 8 months ago, let me tell you. A third thing that I'd like to mention about failure is it's not as scary when you have a teacher or a mentor that's guiding you along the way. I have just come to know this recently, and I have taken courses and studied things before because I love to study and learn, and then I love to teach because I've tried to go this route before and become an online entrepreneur. But what I was missing was the self-worth component and the maturity to be able to say, hey, you're going to fail. But what I have found is the more people that I can add to my support team, I like to call them my earthly plane spirit guides. They're like embodied spirit guides that are with me. They include things like my therapist and my Reiki practitioner, my astrologer, my life coach, my best friend, my mother, my best coworker at my day job. They're all people that contribute to my life in a positive way and give me feedback that is super helpful. And when I rely on them and I lean on them and I share what I'm going through, and when I trust in my mentors and the people that I'm learning how to do something, for instance, my mentor that I'm following, that I'm learning a lot about what to do on YouTube, and we're going to work together more closely starting in July, is that they've done it before. There are very few things in this world that no one has done before. You just have to find a good teacher and a good mentor and an earthly spirit guide, and they will take you along the way. And that makes the failure even less scary. So you can just jump right in. Yeah, super great stuff. The next principle that I'd like to share with you is related to identity. Being in my 40s now and learning more and more about my identity and who I am is so refreshing. When I used to do work on myself and try to figure out, who is Jennifer and what do I like and what do I desire and who do I want to help and what are the things that I'm going to do in this lifetime, what I found is that it was very difficult to find my identity outside of the labels that had already been given to me. They're like a sticky mess all over you, and you have to peel off the layers in order to get down to the nitty-gritty, and some of that can be pretty painful and uncomfortable. So the first thing that I'll say about finding my identity is you have to be willing to look at your dark side, your shadow side, the parts of you that are ugly. And when you are covered up by all the muck and junk that we get labeled with, just from even when we're just a teeny tiny baby, labels right out of the gate, we've got to pull through that and move the reeds away from the riverbank and go through the jungle and through the palms and open up and look and see the world that's out there, and then how that reflects back on us, our true identity. And when those things are reflected back to us, one of the things that we see is the not so pretty parts of ourselves, the parts of us that experience things like hate or jealousy or intolerance or dread, loathing, despising things. Even those words are yucky to say, but I sit here in front of this camera sharing with you that I've experienced all those things. We all do. People push our buttons and we say, oh God, I don't like them. Or we have no tolerance for them. Or we covet and see someone with things that we think we want and we're jealous about what they have. In my case, my entire identity was the typical, you're going to go to school, you're going to get good grades, you're going to go to college, you're going to get your degree, you're going to get a great job, and after that you're going to get an even better job, and then you're going to go back to school so that you can get an even better job, and then you're going to have a house and a car and a designer French bulldog and blah, 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 blah. And that became my sticky, ooey, gooey, false identity. And I don't like it anymore. It's just not me. It never has been me. It's what the world told me I was and who I am. And I learned valuable skills along the way. I love that I chose social work as a profession because it really is a helping profession. And I believe that I'm meant to help people. So my nature kind of shined through in that circumstance where I could learn those things and have them be helpful tools for me helping people. But I have had to uncover the areas where I act in ways that are less than ideal and that might hurt people, and try to make up for those hurts. And 1000%, I always feel so much better when I tune into and look at my dark side and my shadow. And hearkening back to failure that we were talking about, a lot of times when we have those failures, it's our shadow side coming back out because we never get rid of it. Newsflash, it's not going anywhere. It's still there, my shadow. Am I casting a shadow back there right now? Like, it's here. It's sitting right in this seat with me, but I can transmute that shadow by trying to bring something helpful into the world. And creativity, I think, is a huge transmuter of shadow. So another thing that I'll say about identity is it's magical. When you start uncovering who you really are, it's not this mechanical robot-y facade that's been built based on all the societal expectations. To me, it's really like I'm a fairy in a magical fairyland. And I know that sounds ridiculous. And for those of you who aren't as imaginative and you're methodical and intellectual and by the book, and maybe you haven't tuned into your own magic, come with me. Like, it is I want to share the magic with you. I want to exude the magic that I am feeling so that you can be like, I like that. I want to have the magic also, because you have it. It's there. It's in you. It's just been crushed and smushed down to where you can't even get in tune with it. But it's magical. Everything looks more beautiful. Everything sounds more beautiful. The thoughts that I have, the dreams that I have, the creative ideas that I have, the energy that is coming back to me. I think I referenced that in one of my first videos in week 1 or 2. Since I have made the decision to start this YouTube channel and level set and learn more about my failures and my identity, and on the third topic, we're going to talk about starting over and what even is that. Since I am doing this, it is magical, the energy I have. I'm almost effortlessly able to take better care of myself, better to make better food choices, better able to exercise. I've been lifting and going for walks. I feel better in my body. And it's just amazing. It's magical. And that's the third thing that I'll say about identity. Instead of taking the slimy, icky stuff, I'm going to refer to it as like society slime. Instead of taking that and letting it wash over you and that be how you're glubbing through the world, your identity can be felt intuitively through your body. We are probably most profoundly able to connect with our true identity by attaching to our physical body. Getting out of your head and your thoughts, because that's your ego running around, and your emotions and all kinds of other psyche stuff, but into your body, because society can't tell you what your body is or how your body feels. Your body just is, and your body just feels. It does succumb to the foods you eat and the way that you treat it, but in its organic, existing state, your body is who you are physically. You're a soul in that body, I believe, but yeah, the body. So when you are trying to get to the nitty-gritty of what's my identity and how am I going to start over in my 40s like Jennifer, and what's that going to look like, and what kind of place do I want to come from, and you're transmuting your shadow, and you're accepting that you're going to strive through failure, and you're tuning into that identity, take time to do things that help you connect with your body. Exercise, massage, meditating, body scanning, whatever it is that makes you cognizant of, like, this is going to sound really, is it existential? This is my finger. That reminds me of a funny story. One time when I was a teenager, I had that profound realization. And, as a teenager, we're so invincible. The world is our oyster and we're just full head on into life. But I was driving in my Explorer. I think I was about 16 or 17 years old. I was just tasting that freedom of having my license and being able to go places by myself. And I was driving and I saw all the cars around me and I looked down at my forearm and I just had that thought of, oh my God, I'm really here. Like, do we even stop to think about that? Like, I know y'all are guilty of driving in the car and being on autopilot and just being like, doop, 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 and we get from point A to point B and we kind of don't even know how we got it. That's the society slime oozing all over you. But the truth is, I'm really here. This is my finger. And the same thing about all the aspects of my body. Tuning into your body will help you tune into your real, true self and your true identity. All right, third, I want to talk to you about starting over. The first thing that I'll say about starting over is there is no such thing as starting over. It sounds like the first rule about Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club. And we don't talk about starting over. But here's the thing. I recently, as I mentioned, this year have had a couple of failures. And the old me would have felt like, oh God, now I have to start all over. But you never do have to start all over because guess what? The only way that you can actually really truly start over is by dying and being born again, maybe reincarnated if that's something that you believe in. I kind of tend to believe that that might be a possibility. I believe in a lot of things. My spiritual view and my soulful view of how we exist pulls from lots of different dogmas and lines of thinking, and I amalgamate it into something that works for me. I don't ever want to be too narrow-minded about that, but I digress. You're never truly starting over in a life because you can't erase everything that you have thought, feel, experienced, done, been in the past. So even if you lose everything and you end a major relationship and you end a job and you move where you're living and you literally have what feels like a clean palette, even that isn't starting over because everything that you are and everything that you ever have been is in that new place with you, in that new time. The reason that I like that idea is that it's less defeating, right? I think that sometimes when we say, oh, I'm starting over in my 40s or I have to start over, it's like a negative connotation. But to me, it's actually a really beautiful thing. I get to start over, but I'm really not. I get to reset the stage like an actor on the stage. I'm very theatrical if you haven't noticed yet. I get to shut the curtain, rearrange the stage the way that I want to, and then come back out and be like, ta-da! Here's the new me. I'm not starting over. I'm just putting myself into a new setting so that I can thrive. Again, that's what I'm doing with this YouTube channel, and I freaking love it. I'm having so much fun. Can you tell? A second thing that I'll say about starting over is if you're feeling that pain point, if you are in a place where you're starting over, I just want to tell you, it's going to be okay. It's not the end of the world. It's really hard not to feel like that, but going back to the setting of failure and not understanding identity, one of the things that I could get stuck in a lot, one of my shadow sides, was self-pity and wallowing around in it and feeling bad for myself that I experienced a failure. And then having those feelings of like, oh God, now I have to start all over. Having those feelings of needing to start all over had me in a really negative, shadowy, dark mindset. And it doesn't have to be like that. So if you're in a place where you feel frozen, that you can't take action, or maybe procrastination is really getting the best of you and you're just not doing anything, you don't have any ideas, you're in that space of I'll never be anything again, or it's not even worth it, it's not even worth it to try, or maybe even you're thinking about giving up. And that's really scary. But if you're in that space, get help. find a mentor. Come talk to me. Go down in the comments. Let's start a conversation. Let's stop being afraid of that negative kind of space and share about it, but come up with ways to overcome it, because there are ways. And if I need to be your cheerleader and your motivator and help you feel confident that a couple weeks from now you can be looking back at this so-called failure with your new identity that's not afraid, and looking at starting over and resetting the stage for yourself, because that can literally be you in just a short wink of an eye. Yeah. Wow, I really love that. Holy moly, where is all this stuff coming out of me today? I'm feeling very, very motivated to share this stuff. But get a mentor, get a therapist, get an astrologer. Soon I'm going to be sharing lots of curated books and folks that I have learned from along the way, because I do believe that one of the most significant ways that I'm going to help you is by sharing what I've done. And it might not work exactly for you, but even if it just lights the spark that leads you in the direction of finding what does work for you, then that's a total win in my book. So thank you for coming today and talking with me about starting over at 43 and what that looks like, and a little bit about failure, identity, and starting over, and what that can look like and what we can turn that into that can be just so wonderfully amazing. If you haven't already, give me a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be coming to you every week with 3 videos. I'm so excited about continuing to do this, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Have a great day. Ciao for now.